666 The Mark of America, Seat of the Beast section for the image. Because of their intelligence and ability to reason, the wise ones have progressed and evolved in their ability to protect the self and its desires. Standards of living have been created that determine the measure of happiness associated with human behavior. It might be argued that one who spends many days traveling hundreds of miles by foot to reach a desired destination pales in comparative balance, happiness, to one who can travel the same distance in a matter of minutes in an airplane. If presented with both options of travel, one who has the ability to reason measures each option by the standard that brings the most balance. The innate realm of personal choice that supports each individual creates variables which cannot be ignored when a standard of balance is being sought. One who travels by foot might enjoy the fresh air and the exercise, while the one who travels by airplane might enjoy the time saved. The purpose for the trip must be considered, as well as the desired destination. As the wise ones reason their way to continual advancements in technology and science, they convince themselves that the standard of living necessary to maintain the quintessential balance must remain the purpose and end of these advancements. Their ability to reason supports the idea, for example, that if a person wants to travel from point A to point B, that it would seem logical that whatever can be done to expedite the trip would lend to a more perfect balance. Ignoring the laws of nature, which mandate that a 50-ton mass cannot disregard the law of gravity, these wise ones use their superior intellect and free will to find a better way to make the trip in less time. Once they arrive at what they believe to be a more balanced end, in this example, the fastest means of travel, they set a standard by which they measure happiness, balance. Once the standard is set, most humans are convinced that they must measure themselves by this standard. Surely one who walks 300 miles by foot is perceived as foolish if an airplane is available to offer an alternative means of transportation. The end becomes more important than the means to reach it. The end is happiness, and whatever the wise ones must do to reach this end they will do, no matter what natural law they must circumvent or violate in order to accomplish their goal. The consequences of ignoring the natural laws of the earth have little importance to the wise ones once their fundamental needs are satisfied. These needs are the same as those of the animal kingdom, i.e., food, sex, and survival. The fulfillment of these needs, or better, the subjection to and compliance with the natural laws that mandate them, does not achieve the realization of human existence, which is the awareness of the self. In pursuit of individualism and uniqueness, the wise ones violate and ignore natural law, subjecting themselves to the resultant penalties and consequences. In the example above, sitting on an airplane without exercising the functions of the body will cause muscle and joint atrophy, whereas a leisurely walk of many miles, without time restraints, would add to the health and vitality of the individual. The desired end is the destination. The human cost is the means that is not reasoned or calculated into the scenario, because it is not given the same value as is given to the satisfaction experienced at the end. Free-willed beings have no laws they must obey, no instincts that guide them, and even less natural ability to accomplish their desires, which have little or nothing to do with natural law. There is no law of nature that presupposes or mandates happiness and the smile it produces in a human being. The uniqueness of the smile is the emotional end result of a preconceived desire being fulfilled. When no results are experienced which end in a smile, people refer to the natural laws to which they are beholden in an attempt to feel satisfied, which they perceive as balance and happiness. They know that eating satisfies the pangs of hunger, thus proving that there is always one end that can be satisfied through free agency. Therefore, as one example, when a human is sad because of the inability to reach the desired end of a preconception, they eat and eat and eat, something they can control by circumventing natural law, whereas animals eat to live, not live to eat. Some couples stay together, not because they necessarily like each other, but because they know through experience that the natural law that mandates sexual urges can be satisfied, and a semblance of balance and happiness can be achieved in doing so. Humans will always find ways to satisfy themselves temporarily, but rarely attain lasting happiness. The long-term effects of circumventing the laws of nature, which have been followed by all other animals for millions of years, are not measured when the expected standard is the end fulfillment of human behavior, happiness. Once a standard is set and accepted by the whole of humanity, it isn't long before exercising free will motivates an individual to set him or herself apart from, or above, the whole by attempting to change the established standard. The reason for continual scientific and technological advancement has little to do with what is best for the whole, but all to do with what will help promote individuality. To be the one who discovers the next great step in the standardization of human happiness lends to the constant desire to be recognized apart from the whole. Inventors, explorers, scientists, actors, musicians, athletes, business icons, or whoever differentiates and distinguishes themselves from others, all have one common goal: to become the one who sets the self apart from the rest. However, these personal goals are not shared by everyone. There are many, many wise ones who have no interest in setting themselves apart from others in this way, but have found their own happiness in other ways. They have no desire to outdo their peers, and consequently, contribute little to the advancements of technologies that ostensibly support human happiness. Yet even so, they too, in their own way, seek individuality. Ironically, through their efforts to establish a universal standard of living by which all can benefit, the wise ones have created their own opposition and challenges, which diametrically oppose the balance, happiness, they seek. From technological advancements, cities are developed and concentrated on small tracts of land where happiness is hardly experienced by their citizens. To escape urban sprawl and the crowding effects of these advancements, humans escape to the mountains, deserts, and other natural environs left unaffected by the standard of living effectuated by the wise ones and forced upon the masses. Humankind circumvents natural law and its environs in search of happiness, and then, ironically, returns to these same environs in their natural state to recapture and experience what they lost through their own actions. All humans want to experience happiness. Nothing is more soothing and provides more comfort than an unforced smile that comes as the result of a preconceived notion or desired goal being fulfilled. Goals are based on what is conjured up in the mind. They are images created by the desire to experience happiness, which are directly associated with the need to sustain individuality in a vast sea of humanity. From the moment a little girl, for example, is able to distinguish herself from others, she begins to establish fundamental concepts of her world and what she must do to maintain who and what she is, and what she should be when she becomes an adult. Human aspirations lead to miraculous discoveries intended to promote the concept of self-realization. Television, books, magazines, and predominantly, the examples of the adults around her, who appear to a child as those who have a stable and secure self-image, create images for the little girl. From these images, she formulates her desire to become someone or something that either fits securely within the standardized images or puts her above them. Her balance in life becomes dependent on her ability to reach the desired end of her preconceptions. She competes with thousands of her peers who also imagine themselves as the next great actress, model, musician, businesswoman, or president, each living her life hoping to experience the end result of fulfilling her dream. For the majority of little girls, it will always be just a dream. Their lives will be spent in misery and stress as they attempt to realize a persistent but virtually hopeless illusion. These dreams are based on an image formed in their minds when they first entered a world shared by billions of others, with the same quest attempting to find out who and what they are as individuals. These young women are tragically convinced that they do not fit in properly, nor do they fulfill the purpose of their existence and find happiness, unless their preconceived image becomes a reality. The image takes precedence over the natural laws that have been violated by the corruption of man. The dragon and the beast give life to this image, causing all upon the earth to worship and desire it above all else. A hope of a life of happiness has become dependent upon this image. Those who fail to live up to its expectations and standards lose this life. In essence, they are killed. Those who relentlessly pursue and worship this image have no rest day or night. Well has it been said of those placed above others as successful, rich, and living the dream, it is not in what is real, but it has all to do with the image. This concludes 666 The Mark of America, Seed of the Beast SEC on For the Image.